All right, you guys are veterans. You know, this is our Sharash Ibar. Sharash Ibar. This is our Sharash Ibar, where we just reconnect to the culture, and this is helping us to really unlock the scriptures, unlock the word, and get closer to what the Father really said through our elders. You know, close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. We're tired of being close. We're tired of having these. I think that's what it means. No, this exercise we do is very fruitful, and you're going to see the prime example today of what I mean by that. And I think while y'all working on this, I'm going to try to connect to the Ethernet just so we don't have these issues. All right, this is here the stick figures. For our community, we call this the second generation. The stick figures became a little more abstract. So if you wasn't raised in a culture, if you wasn't a Shemitic person or even a Phoenician like the Canaanites, you wouldn't really understand what these drawings means. But this is this for me, the Torah Group. This is what we call the second generation or the stick figures, and it became a little abstract there. We're tying the stick figures back to the original glyphs, the pictograms. The pictograms helps us pronounce and enunciate the words. Just showing the pagan English letters that these letters equate to here. This is our tribal declaration. These are Israelite scrolls written by Israelites, and if you don't understand the Israelites, you don't understand, or you won't understand these scrolls. And that's all the writings, the Apocrypha. We don't shun any of the writings. We read them and let the Most High give us understanding, or tell us that that's pseudo garbage mess, not and to reject it. But if you don't come back to the culture, or you don't study the culture of the Israelites, the righteous Israelites, not the Talmudists, we don't teach, we don't practice, we don't accept anything. Those Pharisees who became Talmudists, we don't accept nothing they did. But if you don't learn the righteous Israelites' customs, you're not going to really understand these scriptures, and you're going to be forced to accept all kind of poor breakdowns and exegesis, Greek tools that makes people feel good and make them proud. Like, oh, I understand that. Like, no, you didn't understand nothing you just read. You just had a Greco-Roman explanation put on a Hebraic text, and you're all in left field. That's what this slogan is saying. This declaration is saying. All right, take a few seconds to decode this. I'm gonna put on some music, and I'm trying to get us connected.
Be afraid. I'm speaking to myself too. Can somebody name a time we called upon our father Abba and he hasn't came? Messiah told us right years just to burn the pains. Isaiah 54, fear not, don't be ashamed. Our God don't mess around, these burning pains are not in vain. He bring us to deliverance, we headed to the wilderness. It's always been a battle, Yaakov versus everything. I'm waiting for my cane, bright lights, eternal rain. 7 seals, earth and flames, 7 trumpets sang remain. Big bang, angels sing, wormwood, malachane. Stay inside his covering, they say do call upon his name. In them days, be as pilgrims, got to move in faith. Job 3, ashes like a base, a third upon the face. Lines needed hate, Ibaryam, what is this place? The thing I would've gave if in my covenant Israel remained. No more ringing shots, the only bodies dropping opposition to Yah. Isaiah 65, the righteous eat, the wicked will starve. We'll put faith beside a chariot, tango and chop. We put our faith beside a Yah, he'll test enemies abroad. Put down the pork chop so you might turn a slot. I'm talking about those who don't know the truth, not those who's in the law. Our God is gracious and filled with mercy, I mean look, we alive. So he made sure to let us know whenever we crossing the line. The sights you see may give you fear. If I was speak, scream in the ear, they should've always be. Ain't no food upon that plate, though the righteous, he don't forsake my all, but told us to be. You could have that ammo stock, but without it, you trust in God's time, we all just be. Yeah, we in them times. Yeah, listen, we in them times, yes, we in these lines. be walking out these roads. Y'all help us to endure these trumpets and these seals escape your bones. The land is thinking, I'll take your hand and wave it at your nose. Even if we are afflicted, endurance in us like Job. 13:15, cause love endures through all the blows. He made his people promise his best believe you gon' keep their soul. And for the ones who die, just open Revelations and it shows that they in our house petitioning. They right before his throne. Don't care if you on your last, keep on pushing, watch that pass. Tribulations ain't forever. The wicked one day will pass. They don't repent, they'll turn to ashes. Keep on pushing and be. Them demons torturing your soul because they cowards. Just be bold, fam. We take it to the throne. Yeah.
All right, all praise. Anybody get a breakdown for this?
KALAH.
Said KALAH. Anybody got something different? All right, Ock was definitely on point. This word is KALAH. For those still learning, we start on the right side of the screen or the page. The Greeks flipped everything on us, and now because of the Greeks being the rulers of the world, we read left to right. But our people, the Father's people, we read right to left. So we start on the side of the screen that has the hand. That's the picture of a hand, and that's the ka sound. Ka sound. The next is the shepherd's staff, and that's our la sound. And then the last glyph is a man with his hands up, and that gives us ha sound. So you just run it all together, and it's simply KALAH. KALAH. I put the translation at the top there, and this is a word. It has several connotations, and that's why it's so important to come back and learn this, because these Gentiles have gave us all kind of translations. They're still they're still making new Bibles. Like, they're still making new versions and editions, trying to make the text more readable. And it doesn't matter what you do to make the text more readable. If you don't come back to this, you're still not going to have the true foundation of what those Israelites wrote about. So this word is KALAH. And you're going to see, I'm trying to stay calm and do this nice and smooth and collectively, but I can't do anything nice and smooth. You're going to see why it's important to come back to this. So in the scriptures, or in the Shemitic culture, our culture, KALAH can mean a kidney organ, or it has a connotation as the seat of passion. The seat of passion. So again, and these are just two we're using today. It has the connotation of your kidneys, like your physical organs, the kidneys in our bodies, or the seat of passion, or the source of passion. So with that being said, anybody want to give a breakdown or a process why these three glyphs put together can represent the kidney organ, or being the seat or source of passion?
I'm gonna take a stab at it. So like the function of the kidney is like it filtrates out like poison and stuff like that from getting into your system, right?
Indeed, indeed, you're right on.
So
You're cooking with fish grease right now.
and then the seed of passion. I immediately, when you said seed of passion, I don't know if this coincides with what I was thinking, but the kidney getting the poison out, seed of passion, and then I see the ka and the shepherd's staff. I thought about the seat that YAHAWASHA sitting next to the Most High and mediating on our behalf. And so when I see KALAH, I see the work of the shepherd, and then because you got the high there, and you know The high is like it looked like a man with his hands surrendered, and that was Yahawasha's whole life here. You know, a life that was surrendered to the Most High. You know what I'm saying, to redeem us and restore the people, to get out the, you know, to take away the sins of Israel, to get out the poison, to play the kidney. You know, and sit in the seat of passion, I guess. You know.
Man, I love this, man. You see, and I didn't even go that route. That man, this thing is easy. That was right on point, and I didn't even take that route. But man, that's powerful, man. That is powerful. The water about Abba, yeah, that's powerful, Ab. That is powerful. Anybody got something else? Narai, you got your hand up, Ab?
Similar to what Zamar said in regards to the seat of passion.
Salaki, I just hit mute by. There you go.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, it made me think of the mercy seat that was commanded to be built when it came to the temple with Masha and their generation when it comes to judgment. So um, just like what Zamar was saying, that we don't want to be judged by the Most High. We pray that He has mercy in the context of we want Him to chasten us and correct us, but we don't want Him to judge us according to our sins, if y'all get what I'm saying. So um to when I look at KALAH, I think of that, to give the sentencing of the spirit, and in our case, by us keeping the commandments, we will receive the judgment, or the sentence will be, which would be of mercy and compassion, rather than judgment and sacrifice. But that's what I got. But all praises.
Now, see, that's where that's the route I took it, but I'm going to reserve mine for the end. But me and you pretty much are on the same path. Zamaria breakdown was totally different, but it's saying the same thing. That's why you just can't be reading all these different translations. Oh, I could speak the Greek. I know Koine Greek, or I know German. All those other languages are Babylonian languages. They're languages of the fallen. If you don't know the dialect, the tongue of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're not going to be able to understand. You're not going to be walking with Abba. All praise to the great I am. Anyone else? Sister Olivia, she pretty much was with Zamaria. She says, KALAH, thinking about the course of action, the staff being in the hand of the shepherd, correcting man back to Yah and his commands, which the kidneys filter out things in our bodies, get rid of toxins. So, like she's saying, the shepherd's correcting us, filtering out our evil, and it's related to the kidneys, ridden our bodies of the toxins. All praise. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Con, I was thinking in terms of the passion part, that it's KALAH because the passion is, if you go backwards, it's like what's what's leading you from the inside, like the spirit, what's leading you from the inside leads to your what you do on the outside. So that like whatever you're passionate about, what you're being led from the inside leads to the work you're doing, like your hand when you put your hands to something. So if you're passionate on the inside about, the most high, for example, then your work is gonna turn into things based off the most high. So like the man with his hands raised being your spirit, and your shepherd staff being representing lead or your authority, and then the hand representing the outer, like when you put the hand to the plow. So your passion turn into your outer, and then the kidney, just the hand pulling the negatives out of the body or the spirit, like shepherd holding the staff, and then you put the staff around the sheep's neck to pull. So like just pulling something out. So that's kind of how I was thinking.
That's on point. That's in line with the Shemitic context. So everything, and you see how we're doing this. No one knew about this. We didn't talk. No one knew this word was going to be shared. And this is just us over the years rehearsing and practicing and just thinking like a Shemitic person. And the fruits of the Most High is with us. This you don't need no intellectual pushing your head back with grease. Talking about let it go, receive the Spirit. No, come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and be restored as an Israelite. That's all that's happening here. The water about that was on point. That was definitely on point. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, so I was really struggling to see why this word would be for kidney for us. Again, I'm not a medical person. I'm not never been in the medical field, but just like all you said, I said let me Google the function of the kidney and pull up some images, and the kidneys, like everyone is saying, the kidneys pretty much keep us alive. I don't. It may be small for you guys, but I didn't know this again because I'm not a medical person. But it says every 30 minutes, the kidneys filter all our blood in our systems. Every 30 minutes, your kidneys is filtering all your blood, removing things and putting the filter blood back in your system. So when I researched that, I says, oh, I could see KALAH because your kidneys is working to keep your the hand. Let me slow down and make sure you see this. The hand for us in a Shemitic context represents work a lot of times because there's no job you can do without your hands. So one connotation of the hand when you see the palm of the hand is working. So the KALAH working, the shepherd's staff is the authority. Because when you see a shepherd's staff, the shepherd has authority. He has authority over the livestock. And we know the Most High is our shepherd. And then he gave authority to his son to be our shepherd. So it's the working authority of man. Your kidneys is your working authority to keep you alive. Because what happens, those people, I don't know if you guys, and I don't want to trigger anybody if your family went through this, but you ever heard of people going on dialysis or they couldn't go on dialysis or they're waiting on a kidney? Like if your kidney shut down, you're pretty much, it's a death sentence. So KALAH, those kidneys are working, it's the working authority of man. If your kidney shut down, you're going to die. If you don't get dialysis or a transplant, you are going to leave this earth. So when I did the research and pulled these images up, I said, "Oh, I can see KALAH working to keep man the working authority of life. Your kidneys is working is the working authority or the chief one of your chief organs of man to keep us alive." Anybody see something different or want to add something to it? Now, the seat of passion, and I encourage everybody to go back and do your own word search, check the lexicons and all that stuff, because another connotation that the lexicon has for KALAH is the seat of passion or desire. And I'm like, wow. And then Nariah took it where I took it to. Go ahead, Op, you got it.
Slovakia. My uncle actually went through dialysis the last, couple of years of his life when I was back in college. And I don't know if you said it, and I apologize. I'm here at work and I'm starting to help people. But when it comes to dialysis, hearing you say that every 30 minutes our kidneys is filtering our blood to take away any impurities, to my understanding, when your kidneys fail and you need to get a transplant or whatever, if you don't have a proper functioning one, it's almost as if your blood can poison your body and essentially be fatal. So when thinking about the word KALAH, when it comes to the filtering out of wickedness from within the nation, in order to keep the nation from being tainted and poisoned with sin, it has to be filtered and pulled out, pretty much like what everybody was saying. So that you telling me that and thinking about my uncle, it just made me want to bring that back up. But
Absolutely, absolutely, right on point. Anybody else? So your kidneys is one of the chief organs to keep you alive. Your kidneys is like one of the chiefest of your organs to keep you alive. So now I can see why our elders would use KALAH to represent the kidneys, and then the seat of passion or the seat of desire. Um, Nariah said it. Zamaria was hitting to it. Sister Olivia was saying it. Our chief desire is to be working to keep the commandments. So you're working, man. Let me see my breakdown. I had it. Let's go to Tahala 119 and let's start it at 80. Tahala 119 and 80, and then we're going to read down to 81 as well. KALAH. Why our ancestors would use these glyphs for KALAH is right in the scriptures. It makes sense when you read the scriptures. Tahalam 81 or Psalm, I'm sorry, Salakia. Tahalam 119, 80 to 81. I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you. Are you home out? You free?
Con, I can read it.
Okay, all praise. We're going to go to Psalms or Tahalam 119. We're going to read verses 80 to 81 to give you examples of this KALAH.
Psalms 119 and 81. My soul fainteth for your salvation, but I hope in your word.
Uh-huh.
My eyes fail for your word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? For
No,
I am.
go back, Salakia. Go back up to 80 and then go down to 81. I made to transpose that.
Psalms 119 and 80. Let my heart be sound in your statutes, that I be not ashamed.
Uh-huh.
My soul fainteth for your salvation, but I hope in your word.
So these two verses are the perfect example of KALAH. 119 and 80 says, my soul, let my heart be sound in your statutes. So let my heart, let my passion be for your statutes. So like everyone was saying, this is the hand, the shepherd's staff, and the spirit. So I'm working for the chief spirit. I'm working to please the chief spirit. How do we please the chief spirit? By keeping his law, statutes, commandments. Because again, for those still learning or those on Facebook who don't understand this language, the palm of the hand has a connotation of working. Because with our hands we work. That verse says, he who turns his hand from the plow. So the hand representing working. And then the shepherd's staff represents the Most High. Sometimes it can represent Messiah, or it could represent an actual shepherd. It could actually represent being joined, because a shepherd would take his staff and pull his sheep to him or rejoin the sheep to the fold. So let my heart be sound in your judgments. Let my heart KALAH. Let my heart KALAH your judgments. Let your law be my passion. And then, I don't know if y'all caught this, we go over so much over these weeks. Psalms 119 and 81, my soul faints for thy salvation, but I hope in thy word. We brought that out a couple of weeks ago in KALAH, in Sharash Ibar. My napash faints makes no sense. My napash faints for yours makes no sense. This is the first time we brought this word out. This is why I love the Most High. This word KALAH has so many connotations in the Shemitic sense. And these translators, because they don't know the glyphs, they miss that. Now you put a word, my soul faints, but in the Hebrew is my napash KALAH. So my napash KALAH, my soul longs. My soul's passion is your judgments. My soul passion is your salvation. So this is why I said you're going to see this word KALAH is the perfect example how you can go to them cemetery schools. You can have all 6 letters behind your name, DDS, what they got, MMA, all this master. You can have all that Greek education you want. If you don't understand these glyphs and the many connotations that an Israelite can use them in, you won't understand what these prophecies and what this word is saying. So KALAH for us has many different usages. My soul faints, no, my soul KALAH. My soul longs. My passion is for your law, statutes, commandments. And now we learn that KALAH also could be my kidneys. So if you're listening to an ancient Israelite use the word KALAH, if you're not if you're not acclimated to our way of life, he could be talking about his kidneys or his passions. Anybody got any comments or questions? All praises. So you guys know this is old news. There's many lexicons you can use. I'm just putting this out there to show you that the translators of the Bible, they were not Israelites. They were not even sanctified. A lot of these men were whoremongers and drunkards. Just putting it out there. If you do, I mean, I done did the research. We have class about it. Like, we go into the translators themselves. These men were hired educators. So what I mean by hired educators, they were paid by the king to do this work. Now, am I saying they were, influenced by money? Could be. But these men who became the translators of the KJV, they were not Israelites. They were not in the spirit of Yah. A lot of them were under the Catholic religion or being new Catholics because the Church of England tried to break away from the Roman Catholic Church, but they still were doing Catholic things. So England and Rome had a war, a religious war. And Rome wanted to be the mother church, the mother whore. And King James was like, nah, we're not following the Pope. We're not following papal Christianity. But King James still was pretty much practicing Catholic Christianity. So those translators, they didn't have the spirit of Yah on them. They were not Israelites, and they didn't know the language we're using. So that's why you see all these different usages of the word KALAH. They don't know our language. They don't know our language. Any other comments or questions before we move on? Now, here's the beauty about our language. Just by adding one character to this word, I just put a ta in front of it. Now it changes the words to perfection. Perfection. Anybody has any other breakdown for perfection? Because what I put, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how good the text is. Putting a ta in front of KALAH is ta-KALAH, and I'm sealed by the hand of the shepherd spirit, or I'm sealed by the hand of the chief spirit. And for us, that is the Most High. And if I'm sealed by the Most High, in a Shemitic sense, I am perfect. Now, that's not that's not perfect in the Greco-Roman sense. It means I'm perfect with Yah. If I violate His covenant, I obey His covenant and offer the offering He said that I owe because of that transgression. Anybody see this? Anybody have something to offer? Comments or questions about ta-KALAH?
Only other thing I would maybe say is maybe tamakala, if anything, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's another word for perfect tama. So maybe tamakala as well.
Yeah, ta-KALAH, definitely. Because if we say ta-KALAH, the ma for us is power. The ma for those who are not acclimated, the ma is a picture of water, a water wave. And in the Shemitic context, water is like the most powerful thing on the earth because of the flood. So our ancestors equated the water to power. And so ta-KALAH, we're still being marked by the power. We're being marked by the power, but being marked by His hand, the chief spirit. So even on the fly, you see that this learning these glyphs with the different connotations just unlocks the scriptures and the English language, the Greek language, the German, the Latin language. No language under the sun can do this like this language can. Any other comments or questions?
I see that word perfection. Of course, it reminds you of, if I'm not mistaken, Tama, right? To perfect.
Calm.
And so we know that when the Most High talks about being perfect, He's basically talking about keeping the commandments and striving to keep the commandments. And so when I see when you added that tie there, I think I could be wrong, but it also took me back to um, sealed through the works of the shepherd. Like, we're supposed to, he was our example of how to walk. And of course, he did nothing outside of what the Father told him to do. So I see all of that coexisting together. You know what I'm saying? It all kind of means the same thing. Like if you're sealed by the works of the chief, you know what I'm saying, but also because that shepherd staff is there, sealed by through the works um of Christ, because his job was to walk in the commandments. So, I could be wrong on that, but that's what I was seeing as well.
No, you're not wrong. You're definitely on because uh Messiah for us is when he comes, he's in the place of his father. So when he comes, he is the shepherd. Like there, you, the text tells us, no man comes to the Father except by me. So how you're breaking that down, yes, this word can point back to Messiah being I like to say our immediate shepherd when he comes in human form, but he's trying to get us back to the chief shepherd, the Most High, and that's his father. That's who he prays to. So your breakdown processing that, like KALAH pointing to Messiah, is spot on. It's spot on. All praises. Anybody else? All right. All praise to the great I am. This is the Most High restoring us like he promised, removing the scales from our eyes like he promised. This is our end screen, just letting you know the Bar context of KALAH varies according to the context. These translators see the Hebrew word and they learn the Yiddish. They put vowels in the word and we don't have vowels. And so when you see KALAH, if you're not acclimated with our culture, you don't really know what the word is saying. It could be kidneys, talking to passion, or pointing to the Messiah, or pointing to the Most High Spirit, Yah. You have to understand the culture of the Israelites. You have to understand our way of life. This is KALAH 2. KALAH 2. Showing you that we learned it weeks ago and it came back up. I said, look, this is a prime example of what we've been saying. Like, just like our slang throughout the world, like our brothers in the UK got slang that if we go over there, we wouldn't understand what they're saying. And then if we gave them our slang for the word car, like the word car got so many different slangs. Hoopty, bucket, what the brothers down south call them. The brothers down south call the big box Chevys. I forgot what they call dumps. Like, but over in the UK, they probably have totally different. That's how it is with this text. If you don't understand these glyphs, your translation, your education from the Greeks is garbage. Is garbage. All praise to the great I am. All praise to the great I am. So, Mashapot, that was KALAH part 2. I pray the Most High is proud. I pray someone got some understanding.